All right, so Gauntlet League Wrestling, Worldwide Wrestling, 1 of 3 on Sundays. Here we are for Gauntlet League Wrestling. I've made a terrible mistake because I've already drunk this cup of coffee. It is all gone. So I'm going to be running on this until the break. And we'll take a break at some point here. So we have done Gauntlet League Wrestling in 2 previous seasons, including some road shows. Right now in Gauntlet City, the actual stadium is closed down for renovations. So these are sort of second-tier road shows that we're exploring right now. Worldwide Wrestling comes from us to us from Nathan Paletta. It is a Powered by the Apocalypse game. This also is part of the Gauntlet online gaming community. We do, well over 100 games each month. We do open table setups, and you can find out more about that at gauntlet-rpg.com if you want to check that out and see what the heck this is. So today we're going to be doing introductions, getting characters in, doing a heat map, and then we do promos, we do matches, we do in-between stuff. You'll see as we play through how this works. We've got some people who've played before, some strong returning veterans, some new people, and it's going to be really exciting. So with Worldwide Wrestling, now it is wrestling, and wrestling has what we might call a problematic history with racism and misogyny and homophobia. So we're going to try and steer out of that where characters interact with those kinds of things. Those are the performative characters in the ring, and we'll kind of address that. I mean, if anybody decides to go that direction, we'll talk about tone and things like that, and contrast that or question it in the sort of out of ring, because this game has sort of 2 levels to it: the in-ring actual matches, and then what happens out of the ring with the actual wrestlers in their day-to-day lives. With that in mind, this is a game as part of the Gauntlet Hangouts that we do use safety tools. So we do use the X card. X card is a simple system for marking problems with tone or with content. I know everyone here who's played has used the X card before. Am I correct on that? I think everybody knows what it is. So you can send a note, you can do the gesture, which I found out is also a referee's gesture for injury in the ring. Somebody posted that. And I'm mentioning the X card now so that I can get, as I usually do, comments on the video about how we're kind of awful people because we're using safety tools. So there you go.
You social justice warrior.
I know. Social justice wrestling warriors. Anyway, so we are going to go into this. This is a promotion that has existed. Right now, there's conflict between the owners, managers, but we've got this kind of road show set of matches here. I want to talk briefly about how play works, both for those at home who might be watching, if you're watching this video, on those who haven't played yet. The idea is that we get set up matches. You're in the ring. Someone has control of the match. They get to narrate the moves, get to describe what happens, kind of go back and forth. The 2 wrestlers should kind of work together about what the back and forth is. If you don't know wrestling, just kind of describe, the throw them against the ropes, or I do this kind of pin. Go very general as you want, or ask the other player to help you out. That is fair to do. We get to kind of a high point, and at that point we actually go to a roll, and we see what happens is that there are a couple of different wrestling moves that we have that we check on, and we'll talk about how that gets resolved. Characters will have momentum. Momentum is a spendable currency, and it's not capped. You can spend momentum after you roll to increase your roll. Again, that's easy enough to do. You can spend as much or as little as you want. You'll get momentum generated from your moves and also at the start of the session. The other important features that you have on your character are audience and heat. You have heat with other wrestlers. So if Matt has heat with Patrick, he'll have a number going from 1 to 4, and the higher it is, the more heat, the more exciting you are to the audience. You're going to get heat rising up depending on how things go throughout the course of a session. If at the end of a match, your heat has hit 4 with the other wrestler, and it can be asymmetric, your audience is going to go up by 1. And the reason you want your audience to go up by 1 is that's how you get advances. That's how you get new moves. When you get your audience to a 4, at the end of that session, you're going to get a new move. If somebody else gets their audience to 4 in the same thing after you, you get bumped down. You still get the advance, but generally only one person will have that 4 at the end of the session because they're going to get a bonus move on the following session. While we're doing matches, a number of people be in the ring. Another player can be the announcer, and I encourage people to do this. Essentially, you're doing color commentary. Grab the mic. We'll choose who does that. You get to say what's going on. When you're the announcer, you can put over a wrestler. That means that you bump them up one success level. So if they failed, you can bump them up to a mixed success. If they've got a mixed success, you can bump them up to a full success. And you can do that once per wrestler per match. So that's the other benefit to being the announcer. And you can kind of butt in to do that. The announcer thing, I think, is the toughest part of the game in some ways, unless you're a diehard wrestling fan. I find it the most challenging part of the game, but we'll get through that. Once we've got characters introduced, I will book, meaning set up what the matches are. We will have people have a chance to do promos. We'll go into the matches. The trick here, the thing that I didn't realize the first time I played is you don't know the finish of the match when you're playing. It's only towards the end that the MC here says who is booked to win. And at that point, once that you're told who's booked to win, we kind of go to a finishing move, or the person who's not booked to win can go, no, and, break the illusion, or, try to change things up or do a heel move to get control of that match. Last thing I want to mention, if you're not in control of the match and you want to be in control of the match, spend momentum. So momentum is an interrupt. It gives you control, and that's a narrative thing. If we get injuries, I'll talk about what injuries do. But that's really the basics here. So what I want to do is I want to kind of just real quickly go through and kind of see what people are thinking about in terms of role and in terms of face or heel. So Matt, I know that we talked a little bit beforehand, and you're definitely doing the hardcore.
Mm-hmm.
And you're doing an icon, which is sort of outside of the heel face relationship. Okay. Patrick, you're doing the clown.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And face or heel?
Honestly, I could do either. I'm sort of open to filling a slot when we see how the balance looks.
Okay.
Because I'm making fun of other wrestlers, so it could be lighthearted, or I could be making fun of them and then punching them in the back of the head. So
okay. So of the other 4, has anyone said definitely this is the role I want to take? What do you? Anybody have this is going to be it?
Yeah, I think I'd definitely like to go for the anti-hero.
Okay.
Ultra-violent Dick Van Dyke.
All right. Face or heel?
I think I'm going towards a face.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can always change. That'd be a dramatic turn. So ultraviolet Dick Van Dyke face. So we have one face, one icon right now. So anyone else have a strong feeling about a particular role that you'd like? No, come on.
I'm leaning into the gatekeeper, but I'm still waffling a bit.
Okay,
so.
Okay. David, what about you?
I have a concept for a wrestler, and I'm trying to figure out which playbook it would match nicely.
Okay.
So here's the idea pitched to you from your guys down in the merch department who cannot move these damn toys. They want a wrestler who is like a doppelganger and mimics whoever he's wrestling and in their costume, so that they can take all of the existing merch, switch a head on it, and continue to sell it.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So he's like, it's like in all those video games that the kids love, where the good guy has to fight his evil shadow self.
All right. Let me pull up the Worldwide Wrestling Gimmicks thing here. Oops. I'm in the wrong.
So maybe it's a technician, because he's got to kind of wrestle like a lot of different kinds of wrestlers.
Yeah, technician is good. Is he? So yeah, technician would be good. Technician, veteran, jobber if he's made to lose, but you want to sell merch, so you want him to win.
At least sometimes he's got to win.
Yeah, I'd say technician or veteran would be good picks.
Okay, we'll do veteran.
Are you thinking of a face or a heel?
It's probably a heel thing. Even if I was opposite another heel, it still seems like a heel thing to be a mimic.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. So we've got a heel, a face, and an icon.
Okay, I'm gonna go with a face then.
Okay.
I think actually I changed. I have an idea. Like I think I'm going for this kind of like fashion critic, Instagram kind of person. I think I'm going to call them Mr. Style.
Mr. Style.
And it's the cultural champion.
Excellent. I like that. That one has a lot of fun moves to it.
I look forward to being punched in the face by Instagram.
Yes.
Yes.
We had a hipster social media wrestler last time, and that was quite good. Okay. So that does that. So let's come back. So icon, heel, face, which brings us to Ryan and Patrick.
You decided on a gimmick?
Yeah, I'm going to go Gatekeeper just because then I can do what I want. Deal with it.
Exactly. Heel or face?
I don't know. If somebody wanted to be my ally, I'd pick the same one. Otherwise, I could go either way. It looks like we need some heals, though, probably. So I guess I'll go heel otherwise.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if you wanted to join up with someone. Mr. Fahrenheit's probably the most, highest name wrestler.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. I don't know. Is he playing off Subpig fame, or is he coming out as a completely new guy?
The idea is going to be that he's obviously Subpig, but he will be acting like he doesn't know what people are talking about if they bring that up, because Subpig was ugly and he's so handsome.
Awesome.
I think I'll go face then.
Okay. Got some faces, got some heels. All right. So what we do now is all of you should set your stats, get those figured out, make sure they are, and you can kind of pick your moves and get those set. Does anybody have any questions about those moves as you're kind of looking through and picking them? Like what anything might mean? Okay, I'll give everybody a couple minutes to do that.
Lowell, I have one question about a move
Sure,
I was looking to take, which is Mouth of the People. It says, when you speak truth to power, roll audience, and then this thing. What does that mean? Like, when you speak truth to power, is that just like basically someone who represents like the power of the Fed or something like that?
When you speak truth to power, it means you're speaking truth either to you're taking on an ideology that has command, or more likely you're taking on management.
Okay.
You know, you're speaking against that, or you're speaking against you know, if there's someone who is, you know, the champion, they are the power, they are the establishment that you can speak to.
Okay.
Samoa Joe pointing out that no one likes Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. One of the nice things is, so there are definitely some stats that, you know, have different sets. So real obviously is your, or sorry, work is your technical skill, and kind of represents how good a wrestler you actually are. Real is when you break the fourth wall, when people buy into you. How do you combine what's really going on with what's on camera? Power is physical strength, and look is essentially appearance, your it factor, your charisma. Those will hit for different moves, though. When you're wrestling, you're going to have a chance to kind of define what you're rolling with based on what's happening. So if you're going for a technical move, if you're rolling work, if you're going for just physical strength, showing off its power, if you're trying to show off a signature move or something that really represents your gimmick or your personality, you roll look. And if you are working with your opponent to do something crazy, then you roll your heat with them. Okay, I'm going to write down names on my little heat sheet then. Six, 3. All right. I'm going to work, once Matt gets back, I'm going to work from left to right along the columns and have people do, you know, the quick, you know, 1 minute pitch on their character. I'll ask some questions. We're going to go through everybody's character, and then we'll go through and work through the heat questions. And the heat questions, you might have an idea about who it might be. and otherwise, you can put it out there and say, hey, I think it's this. The other player can say yes or no, can negotiate, can modify that out to get that set. When someone answers a heat question that you've asked, puts himself in that place, then you'll write down that heat on your sheet. You keep track of the answers to those heat questions. So, Matt, I'm going to start out. Give us the 1-minute pitch on Mr. Fahrenheit.
Well, when last we left Gauntlet League Wrestling, the Sub Pig was severely injured in the final match. And the Federation has ruled that for their liability, for the sake of his own health and well-being, the Sub Pig can no longer compete. And coincidentally, when Sub Pig was shown the door, a new wrestler appeared. A completely different character, Mr. Fahrenheit, he's the opposite of Sub Pig. Sub Pig resented the pretty boy wrestlers. That's what he always wanted to be and failed to be. Not Mr. Fahrenheit. Mr. Fahrenheit sees himself as one of those pretty boy wrestlers. That's what he identifies with. And while the Sub Pig was trying to hurt everybody to teach them a lesson, Mr. Fahrenheit, he's not crazy about this hardcore stuff either. That's because he's here to spread love, baby.
And what does Mr. Fahrenheit's outfit look like? What's okay. the look?
So Mr. Fahrenheit, it comes to, kind of sister Sub Pig. So he's got that same kind of portly build, but he's wearing just the white spandex pants, the white boots with flames on them, no shirt because there ain't no shame in his game, kind of a tie-dye bandana.
Awesome. All right. I like it. I'm going to move on, get the rest of our wrestlers introduced so we can move on. Paul, please tell us about Jack Ripper Jones.
Yeah, Jack Ripper Jones. He's hailing from Whitechapel in East London. He's a really nasty looking fella. He's really like scrawny and like but like his muscles are kind of like tight iron cables. He looks like the kind of guy that you'd want to avoid like on a Friday night in a pub in like East London. Like he can start some trouble. And he comes down to the ring wearing like a early kind of 20th, late 19th century kind of a get up, a bit like the Peaky Blinders, that kind of thing. So he wears he's got like a cloth flat cap, starched kind of white shirt, sort of buttoned up, a pocket watch, a little sort of tweed jacket. He comes down, and he sort of struts down to the ring. Then pulls off all his clothes, rips off, and he's covered. It's like the entire top of his body is like covered in like hand poked like tattoos. Yeah, he looks mean, but he is mean. I mean, he kind of fights a bit like a heel, like in the ring. He's not afraid to break the rules, but he sort of stands up for whenever he sees an injustice, or he hates like the inherent power structures like there and people being told what to do. So he'll always like stand up for the little guy.
Awesome. I like that. And so an anti-hero. I imagine he's a young wrestler, or is he a veteran? He's been on the indie circuit, or this is his first time?
He came up through the indie circuit in the UK. He's kind of like late 20s, kind of say. Okay. And he's just sort of moved over. This is the first time he's ever sort of wrestled in the US.
All right. I like it. I like the Peaky Blinders reference. That is awesome. Let's go to Mr. Style. Mr. Style, tell us about yourself.
Yes, I think Mr. Style is like the winner of like the first Who Wants to Be a Wrestler reality program or something like that.
Ooh,
it's like a new wrestler trying to like appeal to the younger audience who are more used to people being active on social media and you know, interacting with the fans all the time. Of course, he has his cell phone with him all everywhere, and usually like shows up to events with different outfits, telling subtle things to his fans. I'm sure most of the established wrestlers don't like him very much, but because of his enormous following, he's a face.
Awesome. And what is his look? What does he dress like to kind of represent that that sort of champion of this whole fashion thing?
I mean, he usually changes outfits, but like his signature thing is like his he has like a 3-day beard and like a very like short nice looking cut, and he usually wears like big leather black leather boots.
I like it very much. That is pretty cool. All right, thank you for that. Next is the understudy.
All right, so the understudy, I'm doing a clown gimmick, and basically he was a wrestler who just wasn't getting much traction. You know, fairly good wrestler, but couldn't really find a good role, and sort of found his niche in just parodying and making fun of other wrestlers. So you know, if you ever see him like between matches or strangely as himself or whatever, he's in like full head to toe spandex, like black midnight blue with just question marks all over it, featureless sort of thing. But then when he goes into the ring to wrestle someone, or when he's parodying someone, it's basically like someone gave a high school student $20 to recreate a costume and do whatever they can. So it's like very cheap, artsy, crafty, like weird parodies of other Gauntlet League wrestlers.
Okay.
As he comes in and makes fun of them.
So I have to ask you then, this is a little off topic, but I do. Spider Guy, where's your wrestler at now? What is he doing for the Gauntlet? Has he moved on, or is he our social media person, or is he a manager?
I think he's still there. I think, yeah, Robbie Reyes has moved up into sort of public head of PR. I think Spider Hero is probably up one of those advanced roles that's still coming in and out of the promotion. But, you know, he's got that web show. I think he's moved on to like doing guest spots on some of the CW superhero shows. So he's in and out of the promotion.
Okay.
He's definitely still a big thing.
Awesome. I love it. Next is Doppelganger, a heel.
Yeah. So as I was talking about earlier, Doppelganger is a creature of necessity and merch moving desires of the toy line. They had so much backlog of these toys, and they wanted a way to just kind of do a real subtle shift on them, put them in a new box, and sell them again. So to that end, they came up with this pitch, which Gauntlet League Wrestling is willing to entertain to see if it'll boost sales, where they're going to have a guy who's going to dress as close as possible to whoever's opposite him in the ring, and try and mimic their styles in the fight, to be the doppelganger. The big thing is, though, doppelganger is the evil German counterpart to them.
Okay.
The guy who plays him is not actually German. He's straight up just like blonde Hollywood, but for all intents and purposes, he's from Germany for the show's sake.
Okay. I like that. So it will be interesting in a future match when we get the doppelganger versus the understudy. I am looking forward to that.
You say interesting, I say into the mouth of madness. You know, it's something in there.
That's when the elder gods come. All right, which brings us to Cat the Cannon Causey.
Yeah, I'm playing Heal Gatekeeper, and dang, I've already forgotten the method that other people are using to introduce themselves. Cat the Cannon Causey has a fairly typical, like, just female athlete look. She's got, the sports bra, it's kind of spandex leggings, those maybe like knee-high wrestling boots with the nifty soles. Generally just looks pretty ripped, like blonde ponytail. And I think doesn't have a catchy gimmick to the extent that perhaps the doppelganger does. It's more that she's real tough and she knows her stuff and that kind of thing.
And Cat acts as the gatekeeper for someone, right?
Yes.
And is that one of your heat questions then?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, awesome. I just wanted to check in on that. Tall, short?
I think fairly tall for a woman, but probably short compared to most professional wrestlers.
Okay. But kind of a strong build. All right.
Yeah.
It's interesting. In the last couple of years, we've seen a lot more body types for the female wrestlers. Nia Jax and some of the other ones have kind of changed up the game, so that's kind of been interesting. All right. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to swing back around to the start, and I am going to have Mr. Fahrenheit go through his heat questions, and he will put them out there. And you can say, yeah, that's me, if you want to grab them. Or if Matt, if you have somebody that you think it's absolutely appropriate for, we can do that. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to desperately try to record all this on a single sheet of paper. I found some of my old ones. I couldn't read them. They were so dense with text. So Matt, what's your first heat question?
All right. Well, we all know that the Spaceman Lover is without a doubt the most popular character in the GLW cosmos. Who is the most jealous of my devoted fan base?
Anyone jealous of his devoted fan base?
I think I totally am. It's sort of a problem with the gimmick choice, but I'm really struggling to get people to remember like any particular details about me rather than the costumes I'm doing for other people. So like my name or how long I've been here or things like that. So I think I'm especially jealous because you like totally lied to people, changed your whole gimmick, but you're still keeping the same fans. You're still retaining the same popularity.
I like it.
I don't know what you mean, change my gimmick. Mr. Fahrenheit is singular.
Just a brand new unknown wrestler.
What's your next one, Matt?
All right. Speaking of jealousy, this pretty face is the envy of all the cool cats in the Federation, and everybody's trying to mash it. Who beat me bloody most recently?
I think that was Jack the Ripper Jones. I think in his first match, like in the Fed, maybe he crossed the line and sort of pushed it too far.
That's perfect for the anti-hero. Yeah, that's great.
Maybe living up to his kind of his Peaky Blinders-esque gimmick, he pulled out the razor blade from under his flat cap and gave you the Crimson Mask.
Nice. Gauntlet Wrestling hasn't taken blood out of the equation yet. Is that cool with you, Matt?
Yeah, it is.
Excellent.
Next one.
All right. Wow! The Mister is here only to bring love. Sometimes total consciousness can only be attained through a derangement of the senses. Who could not handle the trip, man, and just returned from an injury that they had suffered at my hands?
Ooh, so who have you injured recently?
I can take that.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Style.
What happened?
I mean, I'm pretty sure that well, Mr. Style is not very good of a wrestler, to be honest. So I don't know if it was an accident or not, but I definitely think it wasn't.
Awesome. And that makes sense, given he being a hardcore. Is there a fourth one? I can't remember. Or is it just the three?
I do have a fourth one.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we know who could not handle that trip, man. Who could take everything I could dish out and come out on the other side with the wisdom of the cosmos?
I like that the doppelganger could handle it.
Oh, yeah. And it makes perfect sense. I like it. All right. So, Matt, you mark heat with each of those people. Let's get a +1 with each of those. As an icon, you don't, Matt. I don't think you do heat with opposite numbers. That's one of your disadvantages, I think. But you get that extra move.
Yep.
All right. Jack the Ripper Jones, let's go through your heat questions.
Okay, first one. Who did I have to kick the shit out of to show how badass I am?
Ooh.
Well, I think that plays very nicely with the last set of questions.
Yeah, I think it does. It fits
That
in.
would be Mr. Fahrenheit.
Yeah, excellent.
And I like the way they're shaping up. For those who have watched WWE or WWF in the 90s, the Stone Cold Steve Austin Dude Love connection was strong.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, so second one. With whom do I have a reluctant alliance?
Oh, I think it's a doppelganger.
Mm-hmm.
He dresses as you, so you can't really hate him too much.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I like the idea. You know, maybe for like a sort of comic relief type thing. That could be like a thing of like Jack the Ripper Jones sort of giving you some style advice, like on the outfit you're wearing. It's like, no, the flat cap's all wrong, mate. You want to like wear it a bit of an angle, you know?
Nice. I like
Okay.
it.
Okay. Who do I think is a slave to management?
I mean,
That could
I'd
be
totally take
me,
that.
or unless I want it.
I mean, whatever you like the most, but I definitely see it could be.
So either Cat or Mr. Style. What do you think, Jack?
Ooh. I like the idea of it being Cat the Cannon, especially because she's like a heel.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, yeah, maybe like I think that she's always trying to like brown nose her way like up the rankings by sort of getting in with the management. And yeah, I feel like other wrestlers are more deserving of being like passed over just because she's getting into bed with management.
I like it. And you got one more, right?
That's right. Final one. Who wishes that they were as cool as me? Anyone?
Anyone want to take that?
I'll take it. I could play that. In character, the Ripper is like a real like badass. People take him seriously. Where this character is kind of more of a goof, and again in kayfabe, he kind of wants to get the responses that the Ripper is getting.
I like it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool. And that's it for my questions.
Awesome. That brings us to Mr. Style.
Yeah, let's find the questions here. Yeah. Who was instrumental to my early success?
Anyone instrumental in bringing Mr. Style in those first days? Might be a good one for Kat, because Kat's kind of an athlete and has been there a while.
Yeah, didn't want to jump in right after taking a question, but I would totally have brought you in your early days.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, totally like showing how to not get injured and stuff.
Yeah. Didn't take quite as well as it should have, but good.
No. Who wants me to just retire already?
Ooh.
I think I do. Because you keep changing your costume and it undermines my whole purpose.
Nice.
That's awesome. Who is honored to be on my team?
I think I am. I think maybe you're actually like, you look for me to team up sometimes. You remember who I am. You respect me as like, you think I can get out there and wrestle and do good things with you, rather than just running around in like paper mache mask of another wrestler.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. And who wants to unmask me, literally or figuratively?
Ooh.
Oh, I think that's definitely Jack the Ripper Jones. He basically wants to out you for the fraud that you are, all this whole like Instagram thing. He thinks that's, he thinks it's completely vapid. And he wants you to sort of, get rid of that whole stupid gimmick and be the real wrestler that you are underneath.
Nice. And that is. Do you have one more? Or is...
No, that's all.
All right. The understudy, Patrick, our clown.
All right. Who is asking me for tips to add something fresh to their act?
I mean, I totally take that given what. Yeah.
Nice.
Any tips I can get in terms of moves, I'll take. I imagine like you're not the first person I've asked, but you're actually kind of friendly, so.
Nice.
All right. Who was my tag team partner before I found my true niche?
Ooh.
I think what if it was me?
Yeah.
I love this. I love this like strange split Civil War where we're both going with the same gimmick idea that we both claim that we came up with.
Marketing loves it because it is so easy to make action figures for you too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
What's next, Patrick?
Who thinks my in-ring talent is being wasted in this role?
Ooh.
That is totally me. Because you could do so much better if you gave up on this silly understudy gimmick.
Nice. And who thinks I'm just a waste of a roster slot?
That would be me, man! You goof! But it don't equal money. The spaceman has proven that and overcome. But I don't think you got what it takes, baby!
Also, I did a really offensive sub-pig gimmick at one point.
Couldn't have been that offensive or you wouldn't have survived.
Do you have one more?
Nope, that's all four.
That's all. All right. Let us come to Doppelganger.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, man. Where are my questions? There's my questions. All right. Who am I keeping out of the spotlight?
Ooh.
I mean, that's got to be me.
Yep.
I think that's right, because I think you're doing all the joke stuff, and I'm doing like the real wrestling stuff in the same kind of gimmick.
Yeah, you can actually pull off people's signature moves and things like that.
Yeah, that's perfect.
I like it.
All
Next
right.
one?
Who is my protege?
Ooh.
I guess that would work. That would work for Jack the Ripper Jones. Yeah, especially as we have this reluctant alliance thing going on.
I like it. I think like
Yeah.
off stage, like we really like each other.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because Jack's like he's new to the country. He's new to this Fed. You know, he's trying to get his start in the States. And seeing as you're like the veteran, maybe he feels that he can kind of learn from you.
Right.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Next, who is undercutting me?
Ooh.
I can take that.
Mm.
Seems like it was your time to shine, but suddenly I don't know where this fucking nothing about wrestling person shows up and takes all the spotlight.
And has a whole bunch of costume changes as well.
Way too many costume changes. Like every time before I have to go on a match with you, like I have to swing by your dressing area, and I'm like, "What are you wearing? Like, did you change it again?"
I'm like, oh,
I like it. Is that all of them? Or one more?
Last one. Who has no respect for all the work I've put into this company?
Ooh.
Me, unless someone else wants to go there.
I like that.
The understudy has legs. You don't. Come on.
No respect. No respect. Also, no respect because we probably have never been able to be opposite each other because I can't pull off your costume.
Not well.
Not well.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I mean, you could try.
Not without the X card.
I'm sure management will try and push that really edgy match one day, but they haven't yet.
Awesome. That brings us to Kat the Cannon Causey. Your heat questions.
Okay, so who am I allied with? Or which non-player wrestler am I allied with?
Ooh. It kind of makes sense for Mr. Fahrenheit, I think, in some ways. What do you think, Matt?
I was just thinking, because Mr. Fahrenheit, he does see himself as a ladies' man. So he would, of course, want his on-screen presentation to have, women around him. And
and Kat is so annoyed with this gimmick because that's so cliche. Come on.
Yes.
She's a tough enforcer. Yeah, player as she should be. But yes, I like it.
All right. And what's your next one?
Who have I put in their place most recently?
Ooh.
we will also say Mr. Fahrenheit because of the expensiveness of the way he sees the gimmick.
That works for me.
I like it.
Who is my best buddy backstage?
I like that one.
Okay. Because I think you could do so much better.
Yeah, I think that comes from a real friendship, and we practice together a lot, sort of thing.
Who wants the position I have on the roster?
I think that might be Jack, actually. Jack the Ripper Jones.
Okay.
I think he'd love to get as close as you are to the management, just so he can bring them down from the inside.
And I'm just going, yeah, of course you want to be the Wharf, but you're missing the tough and you've got too much gimmick going. So
yeah, I love it.
Is that all of those?
Yeah, that's my whole list.
All right. So as the gatekeeper, one of the things, of course, you're kind of ally with Mr. Fahrenheit, so you're blocking for him. But there's going to be someone who has the belt right now, as well, that you have to go through. So we've got a list of non-player wrestlers on the other page, the roster summary. Who now currently has the belt? What do you think, Kat?
I just realized that one of the characters is the Terminatrix. So
yes,
I think maybe her, because that's awesome.
Perfect. The Terminatrix, who took over for another character, became the female version of another character. So that is awesome. So the Terminatrix currently has the belt on the road there. Okay. All right. I think that I have the booking for the show. But before we go into that, we are going to take a 5-minute break. When we come back, I'm going to tell you the booking for the show. We're going to get to the matches. We're going to play them out, and we're going to see what happens. So 5 minutes, everybody.
Oh, see you in a bit.
Yep.
Oh my god, that's amazing. I can feel the cosmic love, man.
That's so not 1978.
Well, one of my overarching theories about this game is that it really supports like the multimedia capabilities we have. That, you know, like it really kind of plays into the whole theme of the game. Like in the last one, I was cutting promos and recording them between sessions and putting them up on YouTube. And I mean, they were pretty elaborate. They were like multi-camera shoots.
Man, I'm like scrolling through the roster of all the non-player wrestlers. It makes me so happy to see them all.
Yeah.
The skunk ape's still alive and well. That Appalachian abomination.
That's right. A Terminatrix was the protege of Cyborg Destroyer.
Yeah. Dreamboat Alex is still around. God.
He has been the punching bag for many, many incidents. So, Gauntlet League Wrestling, they're on the road. This is a house show on the road, so anything can kind of go. Right now, there's still some challenges in management going on back at main Gauntlet City, and so on the road, we've actually got essentially the general manager. They just call him the general manager for the road shows. It's very clearly Cyborg Destroyer, out of costume, but he's the guy they brought back to kind of bring order and take care of things that are on the road, because Wolf Backhouse is involved in a series of legal battles with the Gauntlet City management right now. Our backstage reporter, Victoria Onyx, is still there, but that's what goes on. So let me ask you this, Patrick. What moderately sized American city is this particular show coming from?
Fort Wayne?
Fort Wayne. Okay. So we're in Fort Wayne, Indiana, approximately 75 minutes away from me. And it's kind of a hellhole.
Perfect.
So tell me, Ryan, what kind of facility do you think the match is taking place in? Are we in a high school gym? Are we in the minor league hockey arena? Is it a VFW hall? What kind of place have they got for this?
It's totally a minor league hockey arena because
Okay.
I like that image.
Yeah. So they got that cleared out. They got the stuff over the ice. They've got kind of locked down. So it's a decent sized arena. It has lights. It's got the setup, but it's not really made for wrestling. But you do have locker rooms and that is all set up. And we will come in here to this house show from Fort Wayne. Capacity crowd of probably 2,000 maybe, if they can sell that many tickets there, and can smell the vending machine. It is a cold arena though. They have to keep it cooled, so it is super cold. People can probably see their breaths while they're in here. So we're going to take up now, and they've got the matches right now. They want to go strong. They've got a big opening match to set the stage, and it's going to be Mr. Fahrenheit versus Jack the Ripper Jones is going to be our opening match here going into this. And since your camera cuts over, we've got the announce table there. Who would like to be the announcer for this match? Essentially, you can just kind of pop in, say things. It is a challenging thing, but you also get to put over people if you want. So I suggest either David, or Mikhail or Patrick who've played before? I know you all have. Any of you feel up to the challenge?
I'm fine handling this one.
Okay, so David, you are going to be the announcer for this match. So the way this works is we kind of set this up. We get the camera come in. They know the local promos for the auto store and all of that kind of thing. And then we're going to cut to the backstage promos. But first, we're going to do a little video package that they're going to show on the screen. So tell me, Kat the Cannon Causey, what's the sort of in that opening package where they're showcasing the wrestlers? What do we see here that in your little vignette on screen that they show on the big Teletron before their show?
It's probably got some clips from previous things where finishing moves, pile driver somebody, and that kind of stuff, even though smaller than them generally. Just look at how tough she is. Yeah,
you doing the sort of the David versus Goliath throws. We get that sweep of shots of that. I like that. Jack, Ripper Jones, what do we see from you? What's in your sort of VTR package?
It's lots of moody shots of Jack strolling through the back alleys of East London. And he kicks over a trash can, and he's like, ugh, and he's hanging outside this dodgy looking boozer, this pub, lighting up a cigarette, and then some kids come up to him and kind of try to nick his pocket watch, and he's like scatters them and stuff, and then he just kind of he sort of struts right into the camera and just pushes the camera out the way.
They spent a lot of money recording this package there, so they keep using it over and over again, and it works. Yeah. What about the understudy? What do we see from your promo package?
So I think the promo package actually starts with a dark dystopian cityscape, and there's circuit boards and electricity, and you hear the iconic boom boom of Cyber Destroyer's intro music and his intro video package. And I think the crowd starts to genuinely go a little bit wild because it's been a couple years this point since Cyber Destroyer. And then it fades down to understudy in his question mark spandex suit, and over it I think actually it starts in the dark, and there's one red eye, and then there's a laser pointer, another laser pointer that's going off this way, and then three more that are going off this way, and then it's lights come up, and it's the understudy in a cheap Cyber Destroyer thing with just a computer circuit board taped to the side of his head, and he's stumbling around wait, I can't see in any of this, and suddenly his trusty assistant, the Turnimatrix, shows up, and it's just one of the female stagehands dressed up as Trinity from the Matrix, but she has the empty shell of a fax machine taped to the front of her armor, and so she comes out helping him stumble around and find his way to the ring, where he holds up his hands, and there's the bump bump one more time, and then it cuts.
So we cut from that VTR. Mr. Style, you are stylish. What is the video, the little package we see before the show of you?
Yeah, I think there's this person going around with a camera, and here you see Mr. Styles' wardrobe, and you see this huge rack of different jackets and stuff, and then I think it pans over to and here is Mr. Style himself, in front of a mirror with someone doing his makeup, and he's oh no, don't show this, and then it cuts, and you see him walking out of the ring. I can assure you this will be A+ entertainment for you fans out there tonight.
Talking to the crowd, smiling, looking stylish, several different outfits showcased in the little video roll. We cut from that to Mr. Fahrenheit. What is your video package before the show?
It's a kind of a jarring thematic cut as the kind of wrestling music changes to something kind of the intro to Jerry Rafferty's Baker Street. And it's just be the Mr. Fahrenheit kind of doing some really terrible dancing.
Does it go on like way too long?
Oh yeah, it's cringe-inducing.
Okay.
Maybe there's a couple like, woo! You know.
And finally, for Doppelganger, what is the VTR package that we see from you?
It's just like really like tight vignettes of people who are dressed up like other wrestlers doing the finishing move on the real wrestler. So like El Toro's getting the improvised bull rush done on him by a dude who like it's clearly not him just based on his body. And then like Mark Millennial getting smashed down by a much bigger looking Mark Millennial. And then like at the end of it, it's like always like, you know, like in the El Toro one, it's this German looking guy just ripping the mask off and just like glorying to the audience.
Awesome.
Mark Millennial, he turns around and like takes a picture of the ruined small Millennial body on the ground.
Nice. So we're going to cut from that video roll package. We're going to give Jack the Ripper Jones, you're going to have the opportunity. Is this a backstage promo? Is it a pre-recorded thing? Get a chance to do your promo. When we come into you before the match, where do we see you at?
Yeah, Jack the Ripper Jones. He's in the he's outside in like an alley, like outside the venue, out back. And he's like taping up his knuckles with like kind of this white sort of tape. And he's doing that whilst like smoking like a roll-up cigarette, like at the same time. And then he's approached. Is it Victoria Onyx, the reporter?
Victoria Onyx. She's kind of wandered back here to find you.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Jones, we're getting ready for the match in here. Want to get a sense of what you're thinking for today's match. Last time you fought against Mr. Fahrenheit, you really did a number on him.
Oh, yeah, I did a number on him, good and proper, didn't I, love? I tell you, yeah. I mean, management, right? They've booked me again against this joke, right? I mean, what do I have to do to prove myself here, eh? What do I have to do? I showed last week that I'm a cut above that joker. Pun intended, my love, I tell you. Yeah, I left him bleeding in the ring. I showed him what true badassery means. And this week, you know, God, maybe I'll go easy on him. Maybe I'll do. Maybe, what do you reckon? Do you reckon? No, I won't go easy on him. I'm going to beat him down, and I'm going to show Gauntlet League Wrestling that I am here and I am the force to be reckoned with. God, just you. Oh, get out of my face! And he like pushes the camera out the way. Okay. It's time to rumble.
Sounds to me we got you cutting a promo. Definitely cutting on him. I've got a roll for your party link in the chat there, so you can pick a couple dice, and you're going to roll with look.
Okay, cool. Let's find the link. I haven't found that yet.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, got it. Roll with look. So my look is it's a +1.
Okay.
Cool. That's here.
Ooh.
Whoa, I rolled a 10. That's an 11.
So they're buying it. The audience is hot. They know that there's a big match. You know, this is a house show. They watched, on the broadcast about you beating up Mr. Fahrenheit before. So you're going to get a momentum.
Mm-hmm.
And you also get to pick one from the 7 to 9 list on the cut a promo.
That match moves. No, basic moves there. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Cut promo. Oh, on a 7 to 9.
Heat is always good. I'm going to tell you that right now. Heat and momentum are always good choices.
Yeah, go on. I'm going to grab one heat with Mr. Fahrenheit, please.
All right. And speaking of Mr. Fahrenheit, we cut from Mr. Fahrenheit from this over to Mr. Fahrenheit. So, Mr. Fahrenheit, where do we see you when we see your promo before the match?
You see something kind of like what I've got on the screen right now, darkly lit, flashing psychedelic lights. Chimney, baby! Yeah, he put the bangers on me last time. He did. Woo! But you can't stop that cosmic tiger, baby. I
Would you please roll cut a promo? Let's see if the audience is buying into what Mr. Fahrenheit is selling. Oh, yeah. Right.
Yep.
What's your look?
What's that?
What's your look?
+1.
So that looks like a 10, right?
Yep.
Okay. So you also get a momentum, and you also get to pick one from that 7 to 9 list on cut a promo.
Let's look at that cut a promo list. Basic move 7 to 9. I am going to take I'm gonna take one heat as well.
Okay.
And point of order, you start with 0 momentum or 1 momentum?
What does it say in your
per character?
What's your audience? What'd your audience start at?
Where is that? I'll look that up. Go on.
Yeah. And it'll depend on what that starts at. So we're
one, yeah.
So I'm going to do the entrances. We're going to get that taken care of. I want to say to the people who aren't wrestling, if you want to, there are run-ins. If you want to interfere, that's a thing that you can do, or you can watch, or if you want to, if you say, hey, I want to cut to our reactions backstage, you can do that. So there is a little bit of waiting and watching. That's a little bit different than other things. So. But we're gonna get rolling on this. So we're gonna cut out to the announce table. So tell me about the announce table, David.
Yeah, so it's set up on the ice, or where the ice would be, so that it can be close to all the action. I think we've got seats on the ice too, like for people who are wanting to pay like an extra $5 or something to be closer to it all. It's just buzzing right now. Like, those were two really good promos. So the booth is just ladies and gentlemen, you saw it for yourself. You saw it. They're ready for a rematch. One of them's got something to prove, and the other's got to get that cut taken care of off his face and make sure that he really shows that he's in this to win this. You heard it from himself. His rhyming couplets are nothing to be messed with. Let's see if he can hold it together in the ring this time against his opponent.
And we'll cut to the music cuts in, and we're going to get Jack. Tell us about what your entrance is like. What's the music, and what does it look like?
The music he comes into, it's by this band called Chaz and Dave. They're these like kind of from the late 70s, these kind of Cockney like pub rock entertainers, and it's this song called Gurcha. It's like a really rollicking like piano thing. It's like Gurcha, boy, Gurcha. And he doesn't have any lights or anything, right? Because he thinks that's really like sort of ridiculous and over the top. So it's all just, the house lights are full up, and his music comes out, and he just kind of comes strutting down to the stage, wearing his suit and his like tweed overcoat. Runs in, slides under the bottom rope, sort of gets in the ring. Hey, hey, ocha, oi, 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 Savaloy, like that. He pumps the crowd, gets up onto the turnbuckle. He's like, yes, Fort Wayne, good to see you, nice tonight.
So you're calling out the name of the town? Do you think you're going for that cheap heat?
Oh, yeah, I'm pumping them up. Yeah, definitely.
Hey, I can do that once per session. Yeah, you go name it out, and they cheer. They're from Indiana. They're well into their cups. They're drunk. Here, the cheap beer. So you can get one momentum there. And as you're doing that, we'll cut and the music will change, and we go to Mr. Fahrenheit. Mr. Fahrenheit, what is your music? What is your opening like?
Okay, the music is like to avoid licensing fees, it's a very mediocre quality cover of Queen's Don't Stop Me Now. And this is just like since it's like a kind of small fed, we don't have like WWE style budgets, but there is like a wedding quality smoke machine kind of going off as he's coming in. The lights are flashing. He's got he's coming out with several of the how should we say this? Several of Fort Wayne's finest lunch shift strippers accompanying him to the ring. And then, if it's okay, Kat is also very reluctantly kind of a part of the entrance.
What do you think, Kat?
Yeah, she's also part of the entrance, and she hates this part of her job.
So Kat, are you going to be standing in the corner while the others are gonna leave, but or do you jet as soon as that goes in?
Sorry, I had to take a moment to just die at the faux "Don't Stop Me Now" lyrics. I think Kat is going to kind of hang out in the corner, like ever present. She could do something. You don't know. She's not interrupting this match, but it could happen.
I like it. So how do you get into the ring, Mr. Fahrenheit?
He's kind of dancing his way on down to the ring, and then when he gets in, he does tries to do like a graceful flip over the ropes, but it's kind of ridiculous because that's never been the kind of worker he is.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Kat attempts to help him save face and gives him like a boost or something as he starts to kind of slip.
The high five push.
Yeah, like it's just, I got you, buddy, except it's actually like trying to stabilize you so you don't splatter in front of everyone.
Oh, woo!
And she has this huge eye roll and kind of walks off to the side.
So you're up in the ring. Now, did you come in bare-chested, or do you have something you take off?
They just came in bare-chested, big belly hanging over the belt line of those spandex trunks.
That sounds awesome. You guys get yourselves into position, and they will ring the bell. And just because you've played before, Matt, I'm going to give you control of the match to start, just so we can see how this goes. So, Mr. Fahrenheit, tell me how this goes. How does it start out?
It would be a surprise to people that were used to the sub big, because he starts just by going for like the test of strength lockup right from the beginning.
Kind of get up there, just
and it's almost sporting because he's not like just jumping on him. He's like putting his hands up, offering it.
Okay, and Jack kind of, he sort of looks around like at the crowd, like, and it's like, what? What's this guy doing? Like, and quite trepidatiously, kind of walks to the center of the ring and like puts one hand up, like, ooh, and then pulls it back and he's like, that's that. And then he goes in and grabs both the hands and goes into the test of strength with you.
All right, so he gets him in the test of strength. They're kind of locked in. It would be kind of classic wrestling, a boot to the stomach, Irish whip to the ropes, bounces off the rebound, steps behind him, catches him in the sleeper hold. So now Mr. Fahrenheit's standing behind the Ripper, got him in the sleeper. And this would probably be a good point to roll for a move.
That seems like a good. Does that seem like a good technical thing? Or what do you think this is?
Yeah, I'd say that's probably technical.
Okay. So let's have you roll with work.
Okay, can I clear these dice?
So to clear things, you don't hit clear, whatever you do.
Sorry about that. Whatever you do, don't hit the red button.
I don't know why clear is as prominently placed as it is. So that doesn't go well for you.
No, because quite poorly, because my technical is -1.
Yeah. So what do you botch?
We'll say that when he goes to get it on him, he doesn't really lock it in and positions the Ripper for a reversal. Probably something like being able to reach behind and do like a snapmare takeover. So now Mr. Fahrenheit's on his ass and the Ripper's behind him.
Perfect. So now you take one of your momentum and you actually give it to Jack, and Jack has control of the match.
Okay, cool. Okay, so when this kind of like sort of botch kind of happens, like Jack kind of like just sort of looks down at Mr. Fahrenheit on the mat, and he throws his arms up, and he's like, "Oh, see everyone, said God, we got a Joker in the ring, you know. He shouldn't be in the ring with me, God." Like that, and I grab you by the. Have you got hair, Mr. Fahrenheit?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I grab fistfuls of it, and I sort of pull you over to the turnbuckle, and start like slamming your kind of face like back into the turnbuckle, and then like drag your face like, all the way along the top rope, like basically trying to like open up that cut again that I've kind of got on you.
Ooh, that sounds like maybe we're kind of doing a look move. You're kind of executing your signature stuff. Does that seem right?
Yeah. I think so. It's either look or no, because I'm not really trying to hurt him and like open up the cut. It's kind of. So yeah, I think it's look, definitely.
Perfect. You're demonstrating your character through action. So go ahead and roll with look.
Yeah. So all the time that I'm sort of dragging his face like along the ropes. I'm like sort of fist pumping the crowd. I'm like, come on, like, don't you want to see him? Don't you want to see him get bloody again? Like that. Right, submit. There we go. Oh no, that's a 3.
oh, Ripper. Ripper, what goes wrong for you?
I've got lots of momentum. Can you use momentum to like bump up a roll?
Absolutely.
How does that work?
You'd have to spend 4 momentum.
Oh wow! Oh, that's all I've got. Okay.
Yeah, you could, but then you wouldn't. Then you wouldn't. We would keep. We wouldn't look bad then.
Yeah.
You're losing money's not spending it.
This is fine. I'm gonna. I mean, maybe I'll get it all wrong. Maybe I'm like, you want to see blood tonight, didn't you? And the front row is like all like kids, like these little kind of like kids, like they're their families. And I'm like, you want to see blood, didn't you? And all the kids, like maybe some kids in the front row start crying.
Yeah. Audio picks up. They're close enough to the announcer's booth that actually probably goes into the mic.
Yeah. Like trying to cover it up. Wow, this sure is one match we've got going on here. Like trying to move the mics away and like dim them down a little bit. This seems like a good time after that botched sleeper to remind you our night's sponsor, Ambien. If you're having sleep problems, Ambien.
And so you give 1 momentum back, Jack, to Mr. Fahrenheit. Mr. Fahrenheit,
okay.
You take control of the match again.
Okay, so he would have been behind me against the rope. So with that, but when he botches that, I would kind of reach under, scoop a leg while getting my arm around his head as well, and kind of dump him over the ropes. Don't worry, kids. The spaceman lover is here to protect you from things like that, baby. It's all going to be right now that Mr. Fahrenheit is here. And just wait until I put the Mr. Twister on him, baby.
Are you trying to work the audience then? Kind of.
Yes, I am.
Trying to gain some momentum and passing control?
Yes, I am, sir.
Go ahead and roll audience.
Where'd that dice roller go? Don't hit the clear blind, right?
And you can grab dice and move them aside. So I have no idea. So
I don't know what that was, but I know it wasn't good.
Yes. What is your audience?
1.
Okay, so that will still be a botch, sir.
I'll put you over.
Okay. How do you put him over to rescue this?
I think I'm close enough to the kids that I'm like, oh, look at that. A true hero for these kids who are just subjected to the horror that came from across the ocean. That Jack the Ripper. And then like I just like start like I like kind of like lean close to the kids. I'm like start like Mr. Fahrenheit, Mr. Fahrenheit, Mr. Fahrenheit. Yeah,
they're cheering. So tell me, Mr. Fahrenheit, do you want momentum or do you want to retain control?
I'm gonna take momentum.
Okay. So Jack, he's up there doing that cheer, working the audience, getting what is rightfully yours. Has dumped you out. So what do you do?
I'm gonna sort of kind of like whisper in his ear, like in Mr. Fahrenheit's ear. I'm like, God damn, give me some help out here. I'm really misreading this crowd, you know. I'm like, look, I really need some help. You know this crowd way better than me. So yeah, and then I'm gonna take him, whip him like into the corner,
Okay.
And then sort of run up and give him a big like clothesline to take him like over the top ropes, and we're both gonna go like over the top ropes, like down into the crowd.
Oh, so big whip him, and then you come up.
Yeah, we both
all of that go down onto the ice over there.
Yeah.
So that sounds like you're going to be doing a kind of like you guys have worked this out. So sounds like you're rolling heat.
Yep, that sure is. So my heat is that's 3.
Oh, look at that.
We really need to work this crowd up.
the floor seats are getting their money today, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget,
Right,
next
that's
time
8.
we're in town, floor seats, just an extra $5. Get into the action.
So you hit that pretty well. Do you want to keep control, or do you want to give control and and get momentum, or you could spend 2 momentum to get a 10 plus?
Yeah, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go for the 10 plus. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna spend 2 momentum.
Perfect. So you retain control, and do you want that 2 momentum back, or do you want another heat?
I'd like to grab another heat actually, which will put me to 4 heat, I think, with Mr. Fahrenheit.
Absolutely. That guarantees you extra audience at the end of this match.
So I clothesline him over the top rope, and we both like go over, and we both like tumble down onto the ice. And then whilst Mr. Fahrenheit is kind of sprawled, like we do that thing where like we're kind of both sprawled out, but like I get to my feet kind of first, bit groggy, had a bit of a bad fall. And there's like a fan, there's like a big, it's like a big like guy sort of standing there in the front row, and he's got like a big he's eating like a hot dog, like maybe he's got a hot dog like in each hand. Like, and I'm like,
that's Indiana.
Yeah. And I'll be like, you're a big fella. Surely you don't need both of those. Here, give it over here. And I like grab one of the hot dogs, and it's all like got all this ketchup like in it, and I just smear it into Mr. Fahrenheit's face. And like rub this hot dog like all over him. So he's got all this kind of red ketchup like all over his face.
And to kind of answer his entreaty for help before, Mr. Fahrenheit is like selling that like a gunshot wound. He's like slapping his head and like kicking his legs and flailing.
So that sounds like you're rolling with look there, Ripper.
Yeah, definitely. Like going the other way, if the audience don't want real blood, they can have ketchup instead. Whoa, that's got a 12.
Just humiliating Mr. Fahrenheit on the floor.
That is, dude, people are buying it. They the cameras up there buy it. They're seeing the horror of the catch up, and you are doing it. You can, since you're at max heat with him, you take momentum, and you've still got control.
Is that 1 momentum you take?
2 on 10 plus.
Oh wow, excellent, cool.
Now, at this point, he could spend momentum to interrupt, or you can keep control of the match and do what you will with poor Mr. Fahrenheit.
Do you want to interrupt, Mr. Fahrenheit?
No, go with it.
You can also cede control.
Okay.
That's also the thing that you can do.
Okay. No, I'm gonna. I see. I realize that the crowd is like sort of coming round to me. They're like, people kind of laughing. I'm like, oh, I'm getting a pop from the comedy thing here. This is like, this is it. This is a new thing for Jack. He's like, yeah, cool. So yeah, he decides to go with it even more, and like he picks up sort of Mr. Fahrenheit, like grabs him in like a headlock under his arm, and just goes along like the crowd, just pulling like whatever like food stuffs or drinks they've got, and he's like, he's tipping over the big gulp like all over his head, grabs a handful of popcorn and like shoves it like in his face. No, Paul puts it down the back of his like tights full of popcorn. And he's like, yeah, like that. And then just when the crowd are like really like on top of it, like, yeah, we're into it. Can I like distract the referee type thing? Is that allowed?
Yeah. So what is it? What is your intent there? You want to break the rules?
Yeah, I do. Like, I've got all the crowd like kind of laughing along with me, and then I want to sort of basically turn it like ultra violent again, and like bang, like do that by distracting the referee. Like maybe the referee is like tight, like trying to get all the kind of all the food stuffs like kind of out the way, and then I'm gonna slam Mr. Fahrenheit, whip him like directly into the metal ring post.
All right. Well, you've got to move for this.
Yeah, I do. That's right. Which is rules. What rules? When you break the rules, roll plus look. Cool. So here we go. Come on, Ripper. That's a 10. That's 11.
11. So you get away with it. The ref is looking the other way, trying to get the audience, to get this all settled down. You get to book the match on the fly. I had an ending.
Oh, okay. I'll tell you what. I'd like to book it as a win for me, for Jack.
Okay. You were originally not booked to win, but it looks like you are now.
But what if I ran in? Am I allowed to do that even though he's changed the booking?
Yes. Do you want to do a run in?
Yes, I would.
Okay. Tell us what that looks like there.
Yeah. So Cat's just been kind of at the side of the ring, kind of watching all this go down. Like, why isn't she doing something? This is her ally and stuff. And she's just kind of watching him get hot dogs smeared on his face. And you're back in the ring now, right? Losing track of where this is going.
I pull him back because I've slammed him into the ring post. He's like almost like unconscious, and I'm just about to hit my finisher move.
Yeah. So she kind of turns to walk away, and then just starts running back and is going to clothesline you.
Awesome. So you're going to roll your heat with Ripper.
Jack the Ripper Jones just humiliating and dragging about, and ladies and gentlemen, throwing food and ketchup all over this man's face. Where's the ref looking? Oh, he can't do that. Smashes his face. How did the ref not see it? He's dragging him to center ring. Doesn't look good for Mr. Fahrenheit, but what's this?
Actually, center ring. So I guess I threw the things.
Can I jump through? So tell me, what did you roll?
I got a mere 7.
7. So that's not a fail.
That means it has potential.
You're gonna get momentum, and Ripper gets to pick one.
Where's the list for that? What one's that?
Oh, run in is under, I believe, is under match moves.
It's basic moves.
Basic moves.
Basic list. Okay. Oh, there we go. Yep. Let me have a look.
Blood might be mixed in with the ketchup now on Mr. Fahrenheit's thing.
I'm a bit confused about the wording of this, because do I choose it and it refers to Cat, or does that refer to me?
Refers to Cat there.
Yep.
Okay. I'd like to choose your interference doesn't change the result of the match, but their opponent comes after you for interfering.
Okay. So you clothesline him. He still has pinned Mr. Fahrenheit. But you do that knock there. Mr. Fahrenheit, what do we see of you before Ripper and Cat get into it in the ring?
He's just lying in the ring. He's just selling like crazy. He's flopping around. He looks like he is so ready to get pinned before Cat interferes.
Ripper, Cat, you and Cat are kind of facing off in the ring. Now you have a couple choices here. We can roll this into another match, or we can just do this as kind of a work the audience, cut a promo back and forth.
Yeah, I think I'd be up for more. I wouldn't want to sort of like go straight into like another match. It's just like, yeah, it's sort of facing off with each other. Yeah, proper like sort of, shouting each other down.
Okay.
Basically starting up a feud kind of angle.
Why don't you roll cut a promo then? Tell me what you're saying to Cat after she kind of knocked you back.
I'm like, oi, love, what do you think you're doing? What do you think you're doing getting involved in my business, eh? Well, I'll tell you, it didn't do no good, did it? Didn't do no good because I still got the W. I still won. I still beat this flunky here. Oh, I know what it is. Oh, Ripper knows what's going on here. It's a right royal stitch up, isn't it? I bet you're sent out here by the management. They don't want me to rise through the ranks. So you, their lackey, their goon, you've been sent out here, haven't you, to knock me down a peg? Well, it didn't work, did it?
Oh, are you doing mouth of the people?
Yeah. I'm like, this GLW is corrupt. It's rotten from the core. I'll tell you, we need to clear house here, and I'm the one to do it.
Let's go ahead and have you roll audience.
Mm-hmm. So technically, when you finish a match with somebody and you've got 4 heat, do you get an audience?
You would when all of this is resolved.
So it's not like instantly right now. Okay, right. Cool. All right, so my audience is 1. Hold on that. Oh no, mega botch. Scored a 3.
So Cat, he starts talking trash, and you're going to be able to kind of beat him down. Tell me what that looks like or what you're saying.
So he starts this thing, and Cat just starts laughing and continues laughing through the entire promo. Like it, he probably has to raise his voice a bit more to go over her because she's just like cracking up. And at the end, straightens up and goes, "You'd really love to be that important, wouldn't you? But we know who the good people of Fort Wayne want to see, and it's not you." And just kind of flex to the audience, like, you came here for the big guns, not for this silly Peaky Blinders act.
So it sounds like you're cutting a promo on him?
I am, yeah.
Okay, so let's have you roll with look.
Let's hope that I don't botch. Or actually, maybe hope that I do botch. Who knows? That's a 2. Plus my look, that's a 2.
Okay.
This audience does not love us.
So the audience does not love you, and because there was food already involved in the match, there's food flying in. So
can I add in something, Lowell?
Yeah.
I was gonna, maybe get in the middle of the two of them, but things up there are just an absolute shit show. So I think over in the part of the audience that Jack was dragging God damn it, names. Mr. Fahrenheit through. And of course, everyone has been robbed of their food there. I think the spotlight sort of comes up on like a food vendor with a cart there, and it looks up, and it's the understudy, but he's in like the sub pig mask and selling hot dogs to all of these people to throw up at the ring. And the light comes up on him, and he just and then like runs away out of the ring, leaving the cart there for people to pillage for hot dogs to throw.
That sounds like comic relief.
Yes.
Why don't you roll that, and then I'm going to cut to Mr. Fahrenheit, and I'll tell you why.
Three, 6. So that's an 11.
It's an 11. That is perfectly timed to get to pick 2 off of your comic relief.
I'll take the momentum and a +1 heat with Mr. Fahrenheit.
Okay. So I'm going to cut back to the 2. You know, the camera comes back. Both you, Miss Ripper, and Cat have kind of been overshouted. You know, things like that. However, one of the things about the speak to power is that Cat's cronies beat you down, Ripper. I think that counts you as the crony in this case, Mr. Fahrenheit. So even after the bell's rung, what does that look like?
And while they're going at it, Mr. Fahrenheit would hit his, again, like he's trying to take the piss out of all Sub Pigs fans now. His finisher now is just a discus lariat, like the most basic, not hardcore move in the world. So while they're having it out from behind, discus lariat to the back of the head on the Ripper.
So drops him down. Do you sell it, Ripper?
Oh yeah, totally. Like sell it like you know, like he's literally just taken my head off, clean off.
Oh, yeah. Perfect. And that's the point at which the referees are running into the ring to pull you and Cat and Mr. Fahrenheit out and try to get this cleaned up, and to get that concession cart out of the way and move things along. And so they will clear the ring there of the chaos. What does the announcer say in all of this?
The refs are running in to clean up this mess. This whole thing is a fiasco. You heard Ripper call it out. Rotten to the core. This whole match was rotten to the core. This whole league is rotten to the core, you heard him say. But we've got more in store for you later on. But speaking of rotten to the core, here in Indiana, another sponsor spot for you. Here in Indiana, with Bayer Advanced Complete Insecticide, you can make sure your plants are not rotten to the core.
Very nice. Very nice. Because a local spot would be perfect, because Roundup would be a national spot. Anyway, so they will we'll kind of cut backstage, and General Manager is there with you, Mr. Style. And he doesn't look happy, because that last end bit ended up being a lot more chaotic and messy than he wanted. And he kind of looks at you and he says, "So you're new, right?"
Yes, that's correct, Mr. Manager.
Yeah, so we're about to do a match. I'm going to put you in here. Do you think you can be a little more organized than those two?
Yeah, and I think like at that, I think he like points at the mansion and like takes out his phone. It's like, so kids, what you just saw on the stage was a perfect example of what we don't like. It's a show of toxic masculinity. That's a negative in my book.
Very nice, very nice. And Cyborg Destroyer, General Manager, doesn't quite understand that because he's old. But he's like, okay, that's must be some sort of slang for something. Okay, and he nods. He goes, I'm hip to it. Okay,
you sure are.
Yes, yeah, okay. Don't want to flash a gang sign on television, but anyway, so he will cut from that. The ring is going to get cleared. All of you will get coming back. We'll probably see a couple of non-player wrestler matches there now in between. We're going to see. Let's see here. Let me get the roster summary. Probably El Toro out there since we saw him in the opening package, and him against Mark Millennial. We see that match go on. We might see Outback Thunder out there versus the coach. The coach is a jobber, kind of little portly guy, so he's in his tracksuit. So we see that these are sort of second tier matches. They really have come for more exciting things. And this next match is going to be a tag team match. And the general manager comes to you, Kat, and says, I know you don't really dig him, but it's going to be you and Doppelganger. And I want to get some attention on Mr. Style. So he's going out there with the understudy. So we're going to do a tag team. You good with that?
You're throwing me in with those clowns?
Well, you kind of made a mess out there. So I don't think you have room to talk right now, do you?
Fair. Okay, yeah.
Okay. Show me that the faith that the company has in you isn't misplaced, that you can be professional, right?
No, yeah. No, I can do my job.
Okay. So does anybody want to do any backstage things before we move on to this next match? Do you have any scenes that you want to do? Doppelganger or Mr. Style, or anybody have something you'd like? Oh, I want to do this.
I think I got to swing by and talk with the understudy.
Okay. So where do you find him? Is he in the locker room? Is he concessions? Where's he at when you find him?
I think he's back in costume area, so like locker rooms, probably.
And he's getting set there. I'm assuming he's trying to imitate Cat, or I don't know what. I mean, it's a conundrum here.
I mean, well,
or are you doing Junior Mr. Style?
Well, Doppelganger's going for like someone in the ring. I'm just going for other people.
Right. Okay.
So I think I'm going to stick with the promise I gave the audience of Cyber Destroyer, because I mean they really deserve to see a legend return to the ring.
All right. So you see him getting the little laser pointers and circuit board set.
He's like velcroing just loose circuit boards, just like the green and metallic, onto his suit. He's got like this gray wig pulled down over the top of his spandex mask. And yeah, just I think through the whole conversation, it's just clipping more and more laser pointers onto every part of his body.
Yeah, I come rolling in. I'm like, oh, sweet. You're going to be the Cyborg Destroyer one. Good work. Good work. Hey, I hate being opposite Mr. Style and things like this because it's just useless. Can I borrow one of your question mark get-ups? I'll just be opposite you.
Oh, no, I like that. Yeah. Here, you can wear this one. We can turn it inside out, and then you'll get like the reversed colors.
Oh, yeah, perfect. Audience is going to flip. They're not going to know which one of us is which.
Ooh, here, and I'll give you like a sort of a fedora like sleuth detective hat that just has question marks all over it too, and a trench coat with a big question mark on the back. It's be even more in disguise.
Nice. Listen, that last thing that just happened out there, that was a shit show. We got to make this happen. Like, it can't be all a joke. Like, I really dig the Cyborg Destroyer joke, and we got to play that up, but then we got to show them something that they came to see, right?
Oh, yeah, you mean like wrestling?
Yeah, like wrestling.
No, yeah, I've definitely. I can work up. No, it'll be impressive. But you know, we're doing the comedy bit too, because
yeah, we're doing the comedy bit. Like, let's do that on the front end mostly, though, right?
I don't want this gross of laser pointers to have gone to waste. I got a really great deal on them.
It's a lot of laser pointers.
Can you help me with the back here?
Yeah, fine. Listen, look.
But no, very serious. I got you.
I'm gonna tumble with you because I don't know if I can trust that Mr. Style to pull off a move. All right, like I'm afraid somebody might get hurt. I think he can handle. I think Kat can handle him. I don't think that's going to be a problem. I don't think she's going to end up getting hurt if she's tumbling with him. But I'm afraid if he tries to tumble with somebody heavier like me, he's going to end up trying to hurt himself or me. And we don't need that after that fiasco.
No, I'm actually good with that because Kat's a little like, so I'd be just as happy like you and me. No, I think we get it. Like,
all right, sweet, sounds good. All right, how about some more along your shoulder blades, and we'll call it good.
That's good. That makes a nice like fanning effect behind me. I like that.
All right.
Do we cut? Is there anybody else who wants to do a backstage thing before we come to the next match? Okay, so it's going to be the tag team of Doppelganger and Kat the Cannon Causey versus Mr. Style and the Understudy. And let's go back for the promos there. So let's start with Mr. Style and the Understudy. Do you guys want to cut your promo together or separate?
Probably separate. I feel like I don't
Okay.
know if we've worked together yet before.
Yeah, I mean, this was probably the awkward silence when we were asked about this by the manager. Like, yeah, probably separate.
Okay. So tell me, Mr. Style, what does your promo for the match look like?
Oh yeah, I think it's like training in the gym with like another person is like rehearsing this move, and it's like, I'm pretty sure I can pull this off now. I mean, it's been a hard run getting up to speed with these guys, but I got the move this time. It's gonna be my new signature move. It's gonna be revealed in this match, so stay tuned.
All right. So that sounds like you're trying to cut a promo here.
Yep.
A more generic one about the people being looking forward to what you're doing. So go ahead and roll with your look. This is one of your strengths.
Yep. That's a 9.
That's a 9. So you can pick one from the 7 to 9 list.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna get +1 momentum.
That makes sense. That's always a good resource to spend, especially going into a match. Understudy, what is your promo?
So I think my promo, it starts as like a video package, and then it's going to go into like in the stadium sort of thing. But it starts again with the dystopian cityscape and the Cyber Destroyer like knockoff Terminator soundtrack. And there's like the flashing of lights, like there's lightning going on, and then all the lights in the stadium go out. And again, there's just like the one laser pointer eye that comes out and sort of looks around, and then like one by one, all of these dozens and dozens of laser pointers come on as he comes strutting down the alleyway there, and he says, "I'm here." Or wait, no, it's Cyber Destroyer. Oh dear,
I am back.
German accent. I have returned. I am here to destroy. I'm here to destroy and break and shine lights at things and make circuit boards that do electricities and like future stuff with the baubles and the motorcycles. And I think as he gets like halfway down the ramp, there's a random audience member that just like screams out in pain because they've had their eyes blinded by these laser pointers, and he just drops the accent and he goes over. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry. No, here, we'll cover that up. And as he's doing that, like 3 more audience members scream and sort of fall out of their seats. And then there's this whole scrum of like ushers that come start piling in to try and help with everything. everyone. And of course, they all get blinded and start like rolling around in the aisles. And finally, by the time like the EMTs that have rushed up are getting their eyes back under them and slowly getting up and trying to put people on gurneys, like I'm just backing away and flicking off the laser pointers like one by one until I meekly make my way up to the ring.
So this seems like work the audience.
Sure.
Okay.
That's plus audience. I got a good one of those. Let's see. Oh, but that's a 6. I will spend a momentum to make that a 7.
Make that a 7. So you can take momentum back. Essentially, it kind of evens out there.
Yeah, I will do that.
Okay. So we'll have you. You've kind of come in. We'll come back and check in on Mr. Styles' entrance in a second. But Doppelganger, what is your sort of promo before the match look like?
I think that like it's just like a lot of question marks scrolling across like the screen. And then like we managed to just like get a room dark and like just spotlight on to what my current costume is. And then I like rip the mask off and it's revealing that it's actually me and not the real understudy.
And the cyborg understudy is like incensed and freaking out at this whole video package thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you're cutting a promo on the understudy.
Yep.
Roll with look.
Right. Let's see. Actually, need to pull up Roll for Your Party. See, there's a link down at the bottom of the page here. I think.
Yes. It's definitely Daring Koala.
Koala. I'm just going to re-roll these red ones.
Okay.
And a 1 and a 4 plus my look. I don't think my look is anything to write home about. Yeah. 0. So
5.
5.
So tell me what goes wrong here with this promo that the audience just doesn't dig it.
I think it was just too confusing. Like, it's almost like meta. This being a copier of a copier. It's like they're like, what? I don't get it. Like,
yeah.
It just falls flat.
And you will definitely see management, the general manager there. He's kind of looking at you. He spoke against this. He thought this was a dumb idea. He wanted you to copy Mr. Style rather than understudy. And when this goes over like a lead balloon, he looks at you and he's kind of does the, you're on thin ice gesture.
Just like waving him off. I'm like, just don't worry about it. It's going to be fine.
Shaking his head. Let's cut to Kat. Kat will have a lot of shenanigans leading up to this. What does your promo look like?
I have been trying to think of that because, oh my goodness, that was a shit show. I think Kat's promo is fairly short and to the point. Like they know that she's not selling so hot today, and mostly just like.
She calling any of your opponents out?
Yeah, I think it is pretty much what she was saying to the general manager. Just somebody's got to put these clowns in their place. Show them what real wrestling is.
Awesome. So you can roll with look.
The intense glare thing that is apparently the Cat trademark. I'm going to roll with my look, which is nothing. Haha, that actually somewhat worked. I got an 8.
Got an 8. So you can take a pick from the cut of promo. Gaining momentum or gaining heat with the subject is the two easiest ones there.
I'm gonna gain a heat with the understudy, I'll say.
Okay.
Make it by him.
Right. You've got some heat with him before. So we know that the understudy is already up, sort of in his corner. He's got the outfit on. Tell me, Mr. Style, what does your entrance look like?
Oh yeah, I think it's like Justin Timberlake with Sexy Back or something like that. And he's like going around dancing, and I think like he's like grinding against the audience at some point. And it's like, woo, Indiana, I'm in you. I can see you, my fans everywhere.
So kind of, are you trying to get cheap heat?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, you can do that. Call out the Hoosier State. You know, and you get a momentum for that. How is he dressed right now?
Oh, he's in this like red leather jacket. I think like in the picture actually, like
okay,
and like this very like nice black leather boots. Yeah.
So he looks pretty styling as he's coming down. You'll hit the corner there where the understudy is at, carefully removing laser pointers. And putting them into a basket there that the referee has set out. Tell me, Doppelganger, what does your entrance look like? How do we make up for what just happened moments ago?
I think that like we're just not going to play it. We're not going to play it big. Like we're just going to play it real conservative and let the show speak for itself. So we come out, you know, with regular lights and like just some good like rock and roll kind of music to get the audience just pumping a little bit. He's got the trench coat on, he's got the hat on, he climbs into the ring and he throws the hat out into the audience and he throws the trench coat out into the audience.
Understudy, he just threw your costuming away.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I'm climbing over the rails and into the audience to like wrestle with people to get my coat back.
Right, you gotta have a little comedy, and I let him handle the comedy. I'm just doing my thing. Like I lift the mask up for a minute, and I'm like, "We will show the understudy who is boss around here," and then like pull it back down. And
all right,
hey, that's my accent.
Oh, that's right. Now we got two Germanish accents out there. Finally, Kat. I'm really curious to hear what your entrance music is and how do you come in?
Kat's entrance music is sort of electronic, sort of almost like video game boss music to an extent. I mean, I'm thinking Boss Mode by Knife Party.
Okay.
And just kind of a strut entrance, like, you know, play the audience, look at how tough she is and everything. But since she's not selling so well, she kind of speeds it up. Yeah, does the strut, but just goes straight into the ring. She doesn't try to play them too much.
Okay, so we'll get a nice
in confidently.
Okay, so I would like to put Paul, Matt. Can I have you guys on the announce table?
That's great for me.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So Matt, tell me about your announcer.
A little bit on the fence, but I think we will see the return of Billy Fashions.
All right. So Billy Fashions is in there. And Paul, are you a named announcer or is Jack down at the announce table for this one?
Yeah, I think Jack like actually comes down. You know, maybe like when the match kind of gets underway, he just kind of like bowls down and like pulls up a seat for himself. He's like, yeah.
Billy, you okay with Jack just kind of sitting there? What does Billy react to the audience deal being sort of hijacked?
Ladies and gentlemen, do not be alarmed. I am as confused as you are. You have not gotten into the Bear brand insecticides. But on behalf of our sponsors, I do implore you, please please purchase those because this is Fort Wayne, Indiana, where the only thing that grows is the crime rate.
Oh my God. Oh, that's right. Billy Fashions is a heel. Okay. All right. So we've got our teams in the corners. In a second, we're going to decide who the legal wrestler is. And this works pretty much like the standard match, except that you can tag in. And if you look under the special matches tab, we've got tag team. So we focus on a current performer, the legal wrestler for each team. We go back and forth. And when you have control for the match, you can go to tag your partner in and you roll your heat with your partner. And then we see what happens. However, it is also possible for your partner to decide to not help you. In which case that's called a tag turn. So we resolve that instead. So tell me, Mr. Style and Understudy, who is your legal wrestler at the start of the match? Who is starting in the ring?
I feel like it's probably Mr. Style.
You good with that?
Yep.
Okay. So Mr. Style up there. And between Doppelganger and Cat, who is the legal wrestler there?
I don't have strong opinions either way. What do you think?
I don't either. I was to see if you were definitely in or out. How about we have Doppelganger go first because he hasn't been in the ring just yet.
That makes sense. So Doppelganger, you kind of botched your promo there. So Mr. Style is going to start in control of the match. And so, Mr. Style, how do you start the match? What happens first? How do you go at your opponent?
Yeah, I think actually like the first thing he like goes to like around the ring and like screams to the audience. And look at the Doppelganger, can't even replicate my style.
Do you want to work the audience then?
Yes.
Okay. Let's have you roll that.
That's 8.
Okay, you've got a choice. You can keep control of the match, or you can gain a momentum.
I mean, I have so much momentum, though.
Yeah, I know.
I think I'm gonna keep control of the match. Actually.
Okay. So where do you go from there after you call out the audience against the Doppelganger?
Like I think we go to like the usually like on top of each other,
Okay.
and yeah, and Style tries to put the Doppelganger into a headlock so that he can ridicule how he looks like this, instructing wise.
So you're kind of getting him up into a lock to kind of do a little bit of a taunt there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that sounds like a kind of a signature move for you, kind of making fun of them.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's have you roll look.
Yeah, that's 7.
So that's a 7. So you hit it pretty well. Do you want to keep control? Or do you want
to use some momentum to get the result up?
You could you got what was your total? It was a 7?
Yeah.
So it would cost you 3 momentum to get it to a 10.
Ooh.
But you could get heat with him.
Yeah, I mean, I have 5 momentum, so.
Oh yeah, you should spend it. Absolutely.
Let's go. I'm not gonna need it later. No.
So you spend that. You keep control. You gain a heat with Doppelganger, and what do you do next?
I think I like try to like I knock him a little bit and leave him dazed, and then like try to jump him in from like the turn pole.
Like climb up onto the turnbuckle and do a flying thing. Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds a little more technical.
That's gonna not go well. Let's see.
So let's have you roll work.
Well, I have minus in Rooks, but I got an 11 minus. Let's see. I have -2, so it was a 9.
It's a 9. So
I'm gonna use the momentum to get it up to 10.
Okay, that seems perfect. Do you want momentum back, or do you want to gain another heat?
I'm gonna get my momentum back, I think.
Okay. And you still got control until Doppelganger spends to interrupt, or until you tag somebody in.
Yeah, in the sartorial social media sensation, Styles starting to show flashes of a wrestling one.
Yeah, and I think like Styles look a little confused around, because he's like, oh, this is the moves that I practiced, and he tries to like tag in the understudy.
Okay, so you move to try to do the hot tag on your partner. Let's have you roll your heat with the understudy.
So I have a thing. I'm not quite sure how this would turn out move-wise, but I'm sort of interested in, like, I've been in the audience fighting with people, and I think like the Turnimatrix has come up with her fax machine armor and has started helping me like steal random clothes from people because I got confused and I think they're mine too. So I'm sort of turned around when I get called up to the ring, and I think I'd like to go for tagging out with the Doppelganger, because obviously he's on my team because he's wearing the question marks and I got confused, but I don't know how that would turn up as a move.
So you've got a couple of choices we can do that as. We can resolve that as like cheap heat, because you haven't done that yet this match or this session, or we can actually do it as a tag turn.
Yeah, let's go with tag turn.
Okay.
See what happens.
So what's your heat with Mr. Style?
It's 1.
Okay, so roll that.
That's an 8.
So when he goes to tag, you end up letting him get hit from behind. So, Mr. Style, you're going to give 1 momentum to the understudy, because he leaves you hanging for a bit. But how is it that you are able to finally tag in there, understudy?
So yeah, I think I come in. I'm thinking I'm paired with the Doppelganger for a moment. So I've come in from behind on Mr. Style when he's like expecting me to come trade in, and basically hold him up in a lock for Doppelganger to get in a few solid like gut punches in on him. The whole time Mr. Style is like yelling at me that no, we're partners. You're my partner. I'm tagging with you. And I finally like lift up one of the circuit boards on the side where my ear would be, and like lean into and I just very carefully help him out of the ring, and then I turn around to wrestle with Doppelganger.
All right, so you get a momentum that Mr. Style has given you, and you are I believe still in control of the match there, unless Mr. Style wanted to interrupt you. Or not, I'm sorry, Doppelganger.
All right, so I think I still have the fedora, the like question mark fedora.
Okay.
And I'm coming in and just you are stealing my costumes, or someone else's costumes. It's not me, because I'm Cyber Destroyer. And I begin like beating him with the fedora. That's very naughty. You should not do that. The locker room is a sacred space where you should not be stealing other people's costumes, even if they're not my costumes, because I'm not the guy. I'm going into just like backing him into the corner of the ring and beating him with my fedora here.
That sounds like a look.
Cyborg Destroyer, what Rick Bogner is to Scott Hall. That's one for the smart fans. Hi, Dave Meltzer.
Let's have you roll look.
It's a 9, 10, 11.
Okay, so you got a choice. You can take 2 momentum, or you can gain a heat with your ex-tag team partner, Doppelganger?
I like the heat. I like starting to pull this like fiasco of costume crossovers into something that the audience starts to respond to.
All right. So you know, Doppelganger, you get pushed back. He's still got control of the match, unless you want to interrupt. You kind of waiting to take it. So how are we doing this next sequence then, understudy?
So I think as the audience like starts to respond to that, as they're getting into it, I go out there and I start cheering the audience, and not the part of the audience that stole my clothes. They're terrible people. They're trash people. I don't like them. But I'm going over to the other side of the audience and I'm taking in their praise, and I'm sort of standing up on the ropes, and oh here, and I'll just gladly like throw my fedora out as, here, have my costume. I don't care, you lovely fans. And I'm going for cheap heat, while I think I'm gonna concede over to Doppelganger as he comes up behind me.
Well, you already took cheap heat.
Oh, I did, yeah.
Yeah. So
work the audience.
Work the audience. Let's have you roll your audience right now.
And patience, fans. I'm sure a wrestling match will break out at any time.
It's a 9. I'll bump that to a 10.
Okay, so they're digging it. You're going to get back 2 momentum, so it's a net gain of 1. So that's a smart move there. And you have an opportunity now, Doppelganger.
All right, so I have control now.
Yep.
Is that right? Sweet. All right, so you're up and you're like praising out to the audience and tossing things to them and all this. And I think you're standing on the bottom rope, and I just come up behind you and like get one hand like kind of, you know, up under you, and the other I grab at your like collar or something, because you're still wearing something over top your chest, right?
Yeah, I think I've got like the leather biker jacket on.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna pull you off that top rope. I think, you know, this is something we planned. And I'm just gonna tumble you straight back onto your head.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I'm definitely gonna run up the ropes and like do a jump off the top to make it a really big throw for you.
Yeah,
Big. Rod, that sounds like it's going to be memorable. You worked on this with him, so why don't you roll your heat with the understudy?
Cool. $11-12.
Holy cow. So you can gain 2 momentum, or you can add 1 to your heat with the understudy.
Let's keep the heat going.
Are you doing Mythic Moments slow?
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Let me look at that real quick.
Sorry.
No, it has been a while. That's brilliant. Tell me, it's big. I mean, you lift him up, and it's essentially 2 doppelgangery people lifted up. We get that shot there. So that's what we call a mythic moment, because it's a 12 plus. So you got a choice. You can now say you're booked to win the match. You can gain an audience. You do your job. You can have your opponent gain an audience, or you can upstage someone and gain a heat with each other.
I'm going to gain an audience. I think
that makes sense.
This is the moment where it finally clicks. Like, oh, that's what they were doing. Oh yeah, this is awesome. Look how awesome this is. As he goes running up that, and like he's like a full, like I've got the one arm only holding onto his collar by the end of this. I've let go of his legs because they're so high up, and then I just I make it look like I'm pulling him down, but really it's just gravity. And he's going to flop, good
Perfect
flop on the mat.
Now that's going to cost you all your momentum, but you get that audience, which is awesome.
Yeah, totally worth it.
Okay, it's kind of you still have control of the match. You're out of momentum. What do you want to do?
Oh my Ha! That's one for the highlight reels, and the understudy backs his way into the history books.
I think that, like, I'm gonna let him kind of lay there on the ground for a minute, and I'm gonna like pull the leather jacket off of him, and then like put it on. Like, now I'm mimicking him. Now I'm his doppelganger.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I'm just gonna kind of like play with the audience for a minute, and let him kind of regain his feet.
So you want to work? Okay, go on.
I don't think I'm actually going to work the audience. I think I'm going to go over, and after he's kind of regained his feet, like as he's regaining his feet, I'll tag Cat in.
Perfect. Let's roll your heat with Cat.
Cool. Eight. So you
make the tag, and Cat, you get a momentum that he would give you, but he has none. So you come in and you've got control of the match. How do you enter? Casual, fast, off the top rope. What?
Yeah, Cat takes the tag, climbs the top rope, and is going to go for an elbow drop as the guy's trying to get up. Like, we planned this, so it's going to go off carefully and everything, but she's trying to be dramatic and splashy, get the audience on her side.
So yeah, I think like when understudy got knocked down, you know, he's rolling around on the floor, taking a long time to get back up. I think the laser pointers are like strobing and fritzing in random different directions. And then he stands up. He's like, okay, I got this under me. He's back still to all of that that's going on. He turned around. He's ready to face the doppelganger because he can take the doppelganger. And he steps forward one step confidently, and there's Cat just like glaring at him. He's like,
Perfect. So you can roll, if you guys coordinated, you can roll with heat, or if this is a real technical move, you can roll with work.
Well, they're equal, so I think I'm going to go for this as a coordinated thing.
Okay. Let's have you roll your heat with the understudy.
Here, with the roller. There we go. Oh, that makes it a 10. Ha!
10. So, yeah, you come down on him, knock him down. You can get 2 momentum, or you can get another heat with the understudy.
That's a tough choice.
Yes.
I think I'll go for extra heat because pulled that off perfectly.
That is a wise decision. You still have control of the match. What does our announce table think of that brilliant maneuver?
The understudy is getting beaten like Notre Dame in a bowl game.
Hey.
Yeah, this match, it's been a bunch of posers just flopping around, showing off in the ring. Now Cat steps in. You know, I've got to admit, I've got my beef with her, but she steps in and she shows what real work and real wrestling is about. This match is just about to hit the stratosphere.
Cat, understudy's on the ground. You've knocked him down. You have control of the match. He's in the center of the ring. In a tag match, that's what you do. You pull him to the center of the ring so they can't get to the tag. You've got him in the vulnerable no man's land.
Yeah. I totally kind of like back off. Like I'm going to let him try to crawl for the edge or something and then drag him back and go for, I don't know the terminology, but try to pick him up and slam him or something.
Oh, like a pile driver? Kind of.
Yeah, that works.
Okay.
That's super flashy.
So are you kind of using your physical strength to show off, or is this more technical thing?
I think this is more technical.
Okay, so why don't you roll work?
And that's a 14, so I am super technical.
You are super technical, and if there hadn't already been a mythic moment earlier in this match, you would topple that. But you get a choice. You can get another heat with him, or 2 more momentum.
I'm gonna go for another heat because that takes me to 4. So
that's exactly what you want, because that is going to push your audience up at the end of this match.
And I think I'm going to interrupt.
Okay. So she does a pile driver, and it looks like she's going to go next, and you're going to spend that momentum to interrupt?
Yeah. And I think the pile driver, it goes off perfectly, obviously, slam down into the mat. But when I do, like, all the remaining laser pointers on my chest just activate at once. And so you have Kat, like, backing off with her eyes burned and sort of waving blindly at the air.
And Kat sells this so hard. You know, she can't see. This is the worst thing. She didn't plan for weird technical failure.
I think the understudy is gonna gets his way back up to his feet. He turns around and he sees his opponent weakened and blinded before him, vulnerable for the first time in the match, and he turns and runs to tag in his partner because, god damn it, she's scary.
Okay. Let's have you roll your heat with Mr. Style.
Let's see. Oh, that's a 12.
That's a 12 on the hot tag. There is no mythic hot tag, but there we go. So you make the tag, and you get essentially a double team opportunity here. You both gain a momentum. What does that look like? What is it? How do you guys pair up as you come in, and how does Mr. Style, get the drop on Kat?
Yeah, so I'm curious, like, the understudy is definitely trying to get out of the ring as fast as possible, but what does Mr. Style do to convince him to run back in and take one more shot on Kat?
I think, like, as this has been going on, like, Mr. Styles has been, like, commenting it the whole match through, like, his Snapchat account or something like that. I think you as you, like, run to tag, I think you see him, like, say something like, if there's someone who has real style tonight, it's definitely the understudy. I really think this is going to be the night where he breaks through the roof. And then you, like, come to tag and it's like, oh.
Yeah.
I think I run up and I see, like, the live feed icon on your camera, and I realize that everyone's watching. I'm like, oh, I will destroy. We will destroy him now. I've lost my accent totally. I'm very confused by what's going on.
So Mr. Style, you come in the ring. Kat is still selling being blinded by the laser pointers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you do?
Well, I think I, like, grapple her and, like, get her down to the ground for laying up for trying to set up the understudy to jump on her.
Oh, okay. So, kind of setting up for a tag jump there. That sounds like a little bit technical. Let's have you roll work.
What could go wrong? Oh, well, I have -2, so that's 5.
That is a 5. So
I'd like to sort of put him over.
Okay, tell me how you put that over.
Yeah. So I'm like, finally in this match, we're seeing teamwork. Rather than people just going about their own business and looking out for themselves, we're seeing people working together as a team. This is what we need in this Fed to bring down that rotten core of management. Teamwork.
Is it possible to tack my carry these kids onto the onto the over and push it up another level?
Huh.
Or is that abusing the mechanics too much?
I think you're with the sort of an out of sequence thing is the put over there. So.
Okay.
But it does. I mean, it will give Mr. Style the opportunity to be bold here. Do you want to keep control, Mr. Style, or do you want to gain momentum?
I want to keep control.
Okay. So you don't quite get the chance to have understudy come in there. Kat is recovering. The announcers are talking you up.
Very well. I think, like how does Kat look, actually?
Kat is selling this pretty hard. Like, oh man, in a moment of weakness, you laid her out, and she clearly needs a minute to regain her strength before she can get up and tackle you again. So,
I think I think like actually the understudy is probably like holding my camera now that we tagged. Like that was the tag baton, and I think like Mr. Style is like looking up at the camera and says like, Kat definitely should have gotten some style tips from Mr. Style, and then like takes like her neck and like takes it back in a grapple.
All right. What do you think that's going to be? Do you think that you using your strength? Is it an actual technical maneuver, or did you guys work this out?
I mean, I think because I'm trying to like take it back so that you can see like her whole body for the camera. I think it's I'm angling for it to be style at least.
Oh yeah, no, I think so. I mean, if that's something that you do, we're establishing that now. So let's go ahead and have you roll look.
That's a 9, and I'm gonna use one to push it over.
Do you want momentum or do you want heat? You probably want the heat.
Yes.
Here's the thing. As you're pulling her back, that we know the booking of the match, and Kat is booked to win by pinning you, Mr. Style. That is the end result of this match that we are going for. So we can go, unless there are other moves to interrupt. Kat, if you want, you can tell me how you're going to move that around to try and do your finisher there.
Think about how you get out of that one. I think Kat sort of for a second, goes a little limp, like, oh no, he's winning, and then just flips him over or something. Like she was faking the whole time. She's been sandbagging this.
Awesome. Using a raw athletic skill to do that. And then
like I'm used to escaping these holds and stuff.
Okay. And going for the pin then?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to cut to the shot of Doppelganger. You see that Kat's about to go to the pin. When the camera cuts to you, what's your reaction to that?
I think I just like get up in the announcer's little table and I'm just like raising my arms in triumph and things like that.
Okay. And understudy, what do we see from you? Is you see your partner's about to get pinned here.
I don't even notice it. I've been drawn off into the audience where my Turnimatrix assistant has gotten into a full-on screaming match with a couple of audience members who she's stolen their jackets from, and I'm having to help her out of this as they're chasing her around. I just don't even notice.
Right. So, Mr. Style, you're probably stretching, hoping for a tag that's never going to come. So, Kat, you get to roll your finisher here. And,
could I interrupt for a sec?
Okay.
As it looks like as it looks like Kat is gonna snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. Jack the Ripper, he just pulls off his headset and chucks it down and goes, "There's no way I'm letting that management stooge win." And I'm gonna run into the ring and if
I'm right in front of this, can I interfere or something? Is that possible in this game?
So when you interrupt a match, so we resolve his role on that. What's your guys' relative momentum right now? I don't think you have any momentum, do you?
No.
Oh, okay. So he does have a little bit of an edge in that. So let's do his run in resolve, and we may be able to roll you into the fiction of what happens.
Mm-hmm. So I roll with my heat with Kat. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah. So that is 2 at the moment. So I'll roll 2. Oh, it's 10.
10. So you get in there, and you're going to gain a heat with her. She's going to gain a heat with you, and you get to pick one from the 7 to 9 list.
Kat does, doesn't she? Kat changes it.
No, because you roll a 10 plus, you get to pick.
Oh, I see. Okay, cool. I'm going to go for I attack them in the ring.
And I'll let me pause here just 1 second to tell you the mechanics of this. If you chose the later in the episode, it would be for next session, would be the setup of the match. if you do that.
Yeah, I'd like to. I attack them in the ring, resulting in their opponent getting DQ'd. They win the match.
Okay.
But not because I was great, because you ruined it. How dare you?
So yeah, you smash in to get that DQ essentially, and so Cat will get the win, but just on the DQ, not the solid respectable win that she wanted. What's the reaction from Billy Fashions there?
Oh, I seem to be a one-man booth now, and what an unsatisfying finish. It seems that the man who keeps talking about corruption has a hard time following the rules himself.
And Doppelganger, you'd spoken about wanting to react to this. What's your reaction?
You know, if he got past me and he's like wrecking this match, I think I just like saw it happen. I just sit down at the announcer booth, like next to Billy, and I take Billy's hat and like put it on.
Okay. So Kat, I think this is you get sort of the ultimate reaction shot here as you get this weak victory. What do we see from you?
Kat just kind of like turns and yells in reverse direction because he's ruining her match. She had this, and clearly this is the start of a feud or something, because she's gonna have to come for him later.
All right. Mr. Style, are you laid out or are you crawling away? What do we see you doing?
No, I think actually he like just gets up and it just like walks out the ring. Is this such bullshit? This management doesn't have control over shit.
Okay, yeah, you're yelling at management. You're starting a scene there, we see that as the camera kind of cuts away. We see the copyright Gauntlet Wrestling, a little copyright thing at the end of the episode. If you ended the match and you were in the match and you had 4 heat with someone that you wrestled with, then you get to have an audience. Did anybody have that?
I got it in the first match. I was at 4 heat with Mr. Fahrenheit. So
okay, so you got your audience for that. Anybody else at 4 heat with anybody? Not quite yet.
I'm at 4 heat with the understudy.
Oh, okay. So you wrestled with him, so you get an audience. Did anybody hit 4 audience? No. Okay, that is for next time. And I think everybody interacted with everyone pretty much. Because everybody was interfering on all the different matches. So let's not worry about the cooldown since this is his first session and kind of shorter. That will be a wrap for the session for today. Any questions? You guys good with that as the stopping point for the match?
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah. We would have had normally another one, but because, of course, character creation eats up a bit of time, so we only had time for the 2. But I'm glad we got everybody into the ring. Though I feel bad we didn't get as much time with the doppelganger as I would have liked. I feel like we got you a little short end of the stick there, sir.
Oh, no, that's fine. That was fun. We got a mythic moment out of it.
Oh, yeah, you got the extra audience. All right. So we'll see people next week. If you have any questions about rules or anything in between sessions, or if you look at your character and you're like, I don't like this move, I want to switch it around, just give me a heads up and do that. Now that you've had a chance to play it and see what the characters are like, feel free to do that. All right, I am going to stop the broadcast.